we talked about who was responsible for this when. As basically it's the massive gun owners that are the actual responsible party that made this all happen. And then we'll take whatever credit for organizing and wildlife organizations and gun stores and all that stuff for organizing, right? But yeah. But I don't know if maybe I missed it, but apparently it was Jagmeet Singh and Peter Julian of the NDP that were responsible for this whole thing. Conservatives did nothing. Nobody else did anything. It was all the NDP. I remember, or maybe I don't remember, Jagmeet Singh being the tip of the spear on this, coming out the whole time.
Yeah.
As soon as these amendments were introduced, he was all over social media defending gun owners, calling this out. Anyway, this is the story from Peter Julian at the NDP. Anyway, I'm gonna play a clip and then we'll talk about it in a second.
I'm just going to add one thing, that the Conservatives did not lift a single procedural finger through all of this. They fundraised off the amendment, but they did nothing in the House at all. This has all been the NDP's heavy lifting, working with communities and people who felt that they haven't been consulted. Well, first off, I take issue with the idea that the Conservatives had anything to do with the withdrawal of the amendment. The Conservatives did not lift a procedural finger through this whole battle. They were fundraising off it, but Pierre Poilievre did absolutely nothing to actually be the adults in the room and push back against the amendment. This is something I think that the NDP has stepped up on. Jagmeet Singh and Alistair MacGregor, our critic, were the adults in the room. We now have space, I think, to consider important issues.
Oh, there you have it.
Oh, well.
Nothing. You guys did nothing.
Gun owners, stores, clubs, Conservatives, you've done nothing. Nothing.
It was Jagmeet Singh and Peter Julian. It's interesting. I'd never heard of Peter Julian before, like all of this. He actually popped up during the controversy that we had to talk about how disgusted he was, how he just couldn't even express his disgust. And he's so typical of a rotten politician. Like, as if you ask him, like, what really happened with that? He'd be like, oh, I don't know, really, what happened. Yeah. But he knew that he just couldn't even contain his emotion. He had to manufacture some outrage. It's unbelievable. I had kept a clip of him doing that, by the way. I just don't, I don't want to keep rehashing that. But in this case, he shows up out of obscurity. You know what he is like? He's like the NDP's answer to Mark Gerritsen. Yeah, that's what he's like. Just literally.
You're right.
Yeah, just the most outrageous, demonstrably false, most ridiculous, absurd things flow out of this guy's mouth while he has this serious look on his face. It's like, yeah, this is what happened. You're like, everybody knows that's not true. He goes, nope, this is what. He's a gaslighter.
He totally is.
Yeah.
In fact, he's actually wrong there, because way back in November of 2022, when the amendments were first tabled, the Conservatives, in fact, Dane Lloyd, Conservative MP Dane Lloyd on the Public Safety Committee, challenged the chair's decision to rule those amendments in order, because the Conservatives said these are out of scope of the bill, and the chair disagreed. So it got to a vote with the committee members, and the NDP, Alistair MacGregor, voted with the Liberals and the Bloc to keep those amendments in. Way back in November, we could have avoided 2 months of committee resources and taxpayer resources and time and scandal and skipped it. So when he says that they're the ones who are responsible for this, well, where were they when it was first tabled? So yeah.
Well, I just might have a clip, sitting around of that vote, and maybe we should have a look at it.
Okay.
Prohibited firearms would affect the financial impact on the Crown, because the cost of the buyback to buy back these millions of new firearms would be a massive cost to taxpayer. And so I would argue, Mr. Chair, that it's out of the scope of the committee because it does offend the financial. It would require a royal recommendation, and that the committee, it is out of scope because it would have a massive impact on the financial cost of the Crown.
So are you challenging the decision of the chair?
Yes.
Very well. The decision, therefore, is, shall the decision of the chair, the question is, shall the decision of the chair be sustained? If you vote yes, you support the chair. If you vote no, you disagree with the decision of the chair.
Yes.
Ms. Demoff.
Yes.
Mr. Noor Mohammed.
Yes.
Mr. Shifki.
Yes.
Mr. Van Bynen,
Yes.
Ms. Dancho,
No.
Mr. Lloyd,
No.
Mr. Motz,
No.
Ms. Falk,
No.
Mr. Fortin,
Oui.
Mr. MacGregor.
So, in fact, it was the Conservatives who tried to have it ruled out of scope originally. The Bloc and the NDP voted with the Liberals to keep it in scope. Then the NDP starts shooting their mouths off about how it's out of scope and that they're intending to bring a motion into the House to rule it out of scope, which never actually happened. It never got that far. And Peter Julian is crediting himself, Alistair, come on, man, you got lots of guns left, MacGregor, and Jagmeet Singh for doing everything that all of you did.
I'm just going to add one thing, that the Conservatives did not lift a single procedural finger through all of this. They fundraised off the amendment, but they did nothing in the House at all. This has all been the NDP's heavy lifting, working with communities and people who felt that they haven't been consulted. And that's an important thing to emphasize. So I don't think Pierre Poilievre has a lot of credibility on this issue.
And the minister said
Oh, yeah, the saviors. Yeah.
And the NDP, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Anyway, just.
I needed a little clown nose.
Yeah. Clunk. But that would get screenshotted and passed around.
Yeah. It'd be all over Twitter.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's just if you didn't, it's interesting because most Canadians don't pay attention to this stuff. And why should they? I mean, it's just garbage to have in your life. But it's like, this is what they never listen to what they say. Look at what they do.
Yeah.
You know, judge them by their deeds. And I mean, wow, what a disingenuous, dishonest group of people. All right.
If you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.